All right, guys, so today we're going to be talking about the level 20 specialization for the Buster. Whenever you get to level 20 with any of the units, you get access to the 3 prestige classes, so you get to specialize. So we're going to be talking about all 3 of these specialization classes. We're going to talk about what makes them unique, what makes them effective, in which situation each of them has the greatest advantage, and we're going to talk about which one is most suited to your particular playstyle, and which one I'm going to take for my playstyle, being a stream captain, streamer, and hopefully by the end of this you'll be able to decide which one is going to be the best choice for you. All right, rock and roll. All right, guys. So if you love the videos that we do here, please choose to support. We pick up one of the TeamVASH skins. We've got all the red and black army with our red V's, and our newest skin, the Meigs Rogue, in honor of our Meigs, her awesomeness as the very first female skin with the crazy long hair and her deadly little rogue dagger. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the support, and let's get right into it. Okay, so we're talking about the Buster specialization. There are 3 different Buster specializations. There is the Focus Buster, the Rushing Buster, and the Volatile Buster. So the Buster is a suicide bomber unit. As the Focus Buster in particular is a specialized unit that runs into enemy troops and explodes. So it's a suicide bomber. It will deal an extra 50% more damage over a smaller range. So the Focus Buster is essentially a giant killer. It is designed to hit one giant target, and just completely annihilate that target. It has a smaller blast radius, making it far less effective for taking out groups of enemies, but against one huge large target, the Focus Buster is the ultimate counter. So if you're fighting a giant troll or a Death Knight, any big, huge, massive unit with a ton of health, the Focus Buster is your ultimate tool for complete, absolute annihilation on that character. So that is if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a giant killer, you're never going to find better than the Focus Buster. It's the best unit in the entire game for taking out giant targets. The Rushing Buster, on the other hand, is a specialized high damage unit that runs into enemy troops and explodes with 40% extra speed. So this one here is, just a super fast suicide bomber. Now, this is important if you are worried about the enemy, about your unit getting picked off by archers before he closes the gap. This can be a problem depending on where you choose to place your Buster at the start of matches. For me personally, I kind of do a survey of the enemy line. And when I see a giant target like a Death Knight completely exposed, unprotected, with no small units around him, I usually place the Buster on the front line so he'll kamikaze straight in and do a 1-for-1 trade, which is usually better than you can hope in most situations. Now, with the Rushing Buster, this gives you some more options, because typically that's not the situation you're placed in. You don't usually have a giant that is unprotected by, just by himself. Usually there's a bunch of small units around him. And archers in particular can be very problematic, because if your Buster gets killed before he gets in close, it's going to be ineffective. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to get that kill. The Rushing Buster is super fast. That 40% extra speed makes it so you're pretty much guaranteed to close that gap before any of the enemy units can respond and actually deal with the threat. So the nice thing about the Rushing Buster is that it's going to go off. It's going to contribute. It's going to get value. It's going to hit something. So very, very good, consistent unit. This unit, however, I would not particularly recommend, because if you are smart with your unit placement and you place the Busters further to the back of the line, what ends up happening is the Busters take their sweet time trying to catch up to your army, and then when they try to pass by the army, then they're not going to have the focus fire on them. They're going to be already in close to the battle. They're not going to be the primary focus of the enemy attacks, and they're going to sneak by the line and then run in and wipe out a bunch of units, hopefully small units, and they just take a huge chunk out of that. That is, you know, so positionally speaking, you can overcome not having a rushing buster just by being smart about your unit placement. Now, with the Volatile Buster, this one's a little different. This is a specialized high damage unit that runs into enemy troops and explodes, dealing damage over a wider range. So this one is the opposite of the Focus Buster. Rather than doing high damage against a tiny area, this one does normal damage against a large area. So this one is specifically designed for wiping out huge chunks of enemy forces. The smaller the units, the better the performance, because the smaller the units, the tighter packed they are going to be together, and the more units are going to get enveloped by the explosion of this wider blast radius. Now, for me personally, I'm always going to be looking at the Focus Buster or the Volatile Buster. It's going to be one of these two. Either I want to go with the Giant Killer or I want to go with the Army Destroyer. For me personally, if I'm using a Buster, I am intending more to go with like the large area of effect explosions. That's kind of the way I like to use my busters, is just splash damage, send in a suicide bomber, take out as many units as you can, just chunk the front line heavily. A big advantage with the busters is you got to remember that these guys have incredible bonus damage against armored units. They're not affected by armor in the same way. So if you send this into a line of warriors trying to, you know, gate up a front wall and protect their back line, and all of a sudden they are met with a barrage of buster bombs, it can completely breach the front line, and you can have, you know, you can trade one buster for an entire squadron of enemy units. So the Volatile Buster for me is the perfect choice. I prefer trying to take out chunks of enemies instead of trying to do a one-for-one trade. I'd rather do a one for multi-unit trades. That one to me seems like a lot better. But again, it really depends on your tactics and your strategies, because if you're going up against, you know, a giant unit that is a tank, an armored, you know, unit, and you want to make sure that that big, huge, massive enemy goes down, then, you know, the Volatile Buster is not going to be not even close to as effective as the Focus Buster. But there's always the chance that your Focus Buster is going to get distracted by another unit, a faster unit, is, you know, something that diverts him into the wrong direction, and he might not hit that big unit anyway. So that's kind of like the conundrum you have between Focused and Volatile. For me, Rushing Buster is not even on the table as an option, and I am definitely going to go with the Volatile Buster, because that's more my play style. That's the one that I see getting the most amount of value out of, is chunking a huge front, you know, just a huge chunk out of the enemy's front line. That's the purpose that I would use a suicide bomber for, and that's the one I see getting the most amount of value from the level 20 specialization for me personally. All right, guys, I really hope that this deep dive into the level 20 Buster specialization kind of helps you make that decision and understand really the advantages and disadvantages of all three types, and hopefully you guys can pick the one that works the best for you. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Ring that bell for notifications, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you would like me to cover next, what you don't understand about the game, or let me know what you thought about this video. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for subscribing and helping this channel grow and helping this game grow. It really means a lot. You know, we're the biggest team on the planet right now for Stream Raiders, and we really love this game. So thank you for all the support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh yeah! Hey guys, we're out here all day, every day, chasing our dream and trying to build this community. If you love what we're doing here and you support the dream, and if you have the means to actually donate and contribute to what we're doing here, I would really love for you guys to come out and support us on Patreon. It's the lifeblood of any content creator. It's the only reason that that we're staying afloat and able to do what we're doing here. And if you have the means, I would love for you to come out and support us and yeah, help us keep doing what we're doing. Thank you so much, guys.